In the year 1818, in a small village named Montfermeil, near Paris, two small girls were playing on a swing. It was a lovely spring evening. Their mother was a plain-looking woman with red hair. She sat nearby watching them from in front of the small inn where they lived. Suddenly, a young woman approached her and said,
"Madame, your girls are very pretty."
The young woman was holding a sleeping child in her arms, but she looked poor and unhappy.
"Thank you,"
said the girl's mother.
"Sit down and take a rest. You look tired."
The young woman sat down and introduced herself. Her name was Fantine.
"My name is Madame Thénardier,"
said the woman with two daughters.
"My husband and I manage this inn."
Fantine told the woman that she used to work in Paris, but her husband died, and she lost her job. But she was lying. In truth, she had gotten pregnant by a young man who ran away. It was very hard for unmarried women with children at this time. Then Fantine's little girl woke up. Her eyes were big and blue like her mother's. The little girl giggled and jumped off her mother's lap. She ran to play with the two girls on the swing.
"What's your daughter's name?"
asked Madame Thénardier.
"Her name is Cosette. She's nearly 3.
The two women watched their children playing together. Madame Thénardier laughed.
"Look at how easily they play. They could be sisters."
These words made Fantine do something very strange. Suddenly, she grasped the other woman's hand and asked,
"Could you possibly take care of her for me? I must find work, and it's almost impossible for a woman with a child and no husband. I'll get her as soon as I have a job. I have enough money to pay you 6 francs per month."
Madame Thénardier did not answer. She did not know what to say, but her husband was standing behind them.
"We'll take care of her for 7 francs a month if you pay 6 months in advance."
Fantine took the money from her purse. The next morning, Fantine said goodbye to her daughter, kissing her and crying as if her heart were breaking.
"We need this money,"
said Monsieur Thénardier to his wife.
"Now I can pay my debts and avoid going to prison. You did a good job tricking that lady."
"Although I hadn't intended to,"
replied his wife. A month later, Monsieur Thénardier needed more money, so he sold Cosette's clothes for 60 francs. They dressed the little girl in rags and made her eat scraps of food under the table with the dog and the cat. In the meantime, Fantine began working at a factory in a city far away. She sent letters and money for her daughter every month. The Thénardiers began to ask for more money, and Fantine gladly paid it. They told Fantine they treated her daughter well, but in truth, while they treated their own daughters, Éponine and Azelma, very well, they treated little Cosette like a slave. Fantine was careful to keep her daughter a secret at the factory where she worked. But the women there finally discovered that she was an unwed mother and told everyone. Fantine was fired from her job and couldn't find another one anywhere. That winter, Fantine went without a fire in her little room, just to save a little more money for Cosette. She earned a little money sewing shirts, but it wasn't enough. She went to a wig maker and sold her hair for 10 francs. Then she got a letter from the Thénardiers saying that Cosette was very ill and needed 40 francs for medicine. This made Fantine very desperate. She sold her 2 front teeth. After her hair and teeth were gone, Fantine had few ways of making money, but the Thénardiers kept demanding more money. So Fantine began to sell the only thing she had left, her body.
This is the second part of chapter 1. The first part was for Jean Valjean. We have new characters in this part. Before we discuss the story, let us first understand some of the new words that we are going to meet as we discuss the story. Calm. The word calm is an adjective. What is an adjective? An adjective is a word which describes a noun. The woman in the picture is calm. She's peaceful. She's quiet. She's happy. She's not worried. Someone who is relaxed is calm. So calm means relaxed, peaceful, quiet, and without worry. Chimney. Chimney, the word chimney is a noun. It means a hollow structure that allows the smoke from a fire inside a building to escape to the air outside. A chimney is that thing that takes smoke outside. If we have a kitchen, that thing where smoke passes is called a chimney. Encounter. The word encounter in the story is going to be a noun. It means a meeting, especially that one that happens by chance. Sometimes it can be scary. For example, the woman in the picture encountered a leopard. A leopard is dangerous. So a difficult situation you are in is an encounter. Closely. The word closely is an adverb. It means carefully and paying attention to details. The man in the picture is looking at the laptop closely. Scrap. The word scrap is a noun. It means pieces of food that are not eaten and could be thrown away. The other word could be leftovers. You can keep it, eat it another time, or you can give it to the cat or the dog. Lap. The word lap is a noun. It means the top surface of the upper part of the legs of a person who is sitting down. In the picture, the man is putting the laptop on his lap. When you are seated, your legs are what we call the lap. Saw. The word saw, S-E-W. This one is different from the one we saw, S-O-U-L. S-O-U-L, soul, is the spiritual part of the person. But S-E-W is a verb which means to join two pieces of cloth together by putting thread through them with a needle. The woman in the picture is holding something small that is called a needle. A needle and a thread. There is also a button. What is the lady doing? The lady is sewing. Rag. The word rag is a noun. It means a torn piece of old cloth. Swing. The word swing is a verb. It means to move backward and forward or from side to side while hanging from something. The children are swinging. That thing is also called a swing. A swing can be both a noun and a verb. What they are doing is swinging. That thing where they are hanging is a swing. Wig. A wig, the word wig is a noun. It means a covering of artificial hair worn on the head to hide a loss of hair and to cover your own hair. The woman is wearing a wig. That's not her own hair. That hair is not natural. It is artificial. It is a wig. Lastly, trick. Trick can be both a noun and a verb. It is an action that is intended to deceive. To deceive means to lie, either as a way of cheating someone or as a joke or form of entertainment. Like on TV, you can watch what they call circus. The man is holding the woman with one hand, but that's a trick. Maybe down there is a table which you cannot see. So that is a trick. Let us go now to the story. In the year 1818, in a small village named Montfermeil near Paris, two small girls were playing on a swing. So the second part of chapter 1, we are still in chapter 1, but the second part. The part begins with two small girls playing on a swing. It was a lovely spring evening. Spring is a season in Europe or in some countries where there are many flowers. Their mother was a plain looking woman with red hair. Plain looking. She was not expensive. She was not putting on luxurious things. She was plain. Plain means simple. She was a simple, ordinary woman with red hair, and her two children were playing on a swing. She sat nearby, watching them from in front of the small inn where they lived. Suddenly, a young woman approached her and said, to approach, she came nearer to her and said, "Madam, your girls are very pretty. Your girls are very beautiful." The young woman told the plain-looking woman that her two girls were very beautiful. The young woman was holding a sleeping child in her arms, but she looked poor and unhappy. Who looked poor and unhappy? The young woman who was carrying a sleeping child. "Thank you," said the girl's mother. "Sit down and take a rest. You look tired," the plain-looking woman told her. The young woman sat down and introduced herself. Her name was Fantine. Here we go. Now we have a major character in this story. Fantine. "My name is Madame Thénardier." We are not going to call them women anymore. Now they have names. The plain-looking woman with red hair, her name was Madame Thénardier. The young girl, the young woman who was carrying a sleeping child was called Fantine, said the woman with two daughters. Madame Thénardier had two daughters. "My husband and I manage this inn." What is an inn? An inn is a small hotel. Fantine told the woman that she used to work in Paris, but her husband died and she lost her job. But she was lying. It was not true. In truth, she had gotten pregnant by a young man who ran away. A young man made Fantine pregnant and ran away. It was very hard for unmarried women with children at this time. In the French society of that time, a woman who was not married was disrespected, was despised. Society never respected Fantine. So Fantine decided to lie that she had a husband who died. Then Fantine's little girl woke up. Her eyes were big and blue like her mother's. The little girl giggled. To giggle is to smile, to laugh silently, and jumped off her mother's lap. Lap means your legs when you are seated. She ran to play with the two girls on the swing. Who were the two girls? Madame Thanandie's daughters. Who is Madame Thanandie? The plain-looking woman with red hair. What's your daughter's name? Asked Madame Thanandie. Her name is Cosette. She's nearly 3. Cosette was Fantine's daughter. The two women watched their children playing together. Madame Thanandie laughed. Look at how easily they play. They could be sisters. These words made Fantine do something very strange. Suddenly, she grasped. To grasp is to hold. She held the other woman's hand and asked, could you possibly take care of her for me? Fantine wanted Madame Thanandie to look after her daughter Cosette. I must find work. And it's almost impossible for a woman with a child and no husband. Society respected women who were married and despised women women who were not married, women who produced, who had children before marriage, like Fantine. I'll get her as soon as I have a job. When I get a job, I'll come and take my daughter. I have enough money to pay you 6 francs per month. Madame Thanandie did not answer. She did not know what to say. But her husband was standing behind them. Well, we'll take care of her for 7 francs a month if you pay 6 months in advance before. So before we take your daughter, pay us 7 francs a month and you pay 6 months in advance. Fantine took the money from her purse. Purse means the small bag where you keep your money. The next morning, Fantine said goodbye to her daughter, kissing her and crying as if her heart were breaking. She loved her daughter, but she had to hide the daughter. She had to find a job. We need this money, said Mr. Thanandie to his wife. Now I can pay my debts and avoid going to prison. You did a good job tricking that lady. They tricked her. They were not rich. They didn't have money. They tricked her into paying them. Although I hadn't intended to, replied his wife. A month later, Mr. Thanandie, the husband of Madame Thanandie, needed more money. So he sold Cosette's clothes for 60 francs. They dressed the little girl in rags and made her eat scraps of food under the table with the dog and the cat. Cosette's mother was suffering, sending money to Mr. and Madame Thanandie, but they did not look after Cosette. They even sold her clothes and dressed her in rags, clothes which were torn, and eat scraps. Scraps means leftovers. She was eating food with the cats and dogs. In the meantime, Fantine began working at a factory in a city far away. She got a job. She sent letters and money for her daughter every month. The Thénardiers began to ask for more money, and Fantine gladly paid it. Fantine loved her daughter. She did everything she could to look after her daughter. They told Fantine they treated her daughter well, but in truth, while they treated their own daughters, Eponine and Azelma, Madame and Mr. Thénardier's daughter were called Eponine and Azelma very well. They treated them very well, but they treated little Cosette like a slave. They treated her badly. She put on rags. She ate scraps with the dogs. Fantine was careful to keep her daughter a secret at the factory where she worked. But the women there finally discovered that she was an unwed mother. She had a baby before marriage. She had no husband and she had a daughter. She was unwed. The other women discovered and told everyone. Fantine was fired. She lost her job. To be fired means you lose your job. She was fired from her job and couldn't find one anywhere. That winter, Fantine went without a fire in her room just to save a little more money for Cosette. Why did she lose the job? Because she had a baby before marriage. So it was a problem. Is it a problem to have a child before marriage? It depends on the society. Many societies believe that. Fantine is suffering because of a daughter she got. But remember, the boy, the father of Cosette, ran away. What could Fantine do? Fantine was suffering because of that. Victor Hugo is trying to show you an injustice that exists in our society. To some people, it is good. Some people, it is bad. Is it good to disrespect women who have kids outside before marriage? Is it good to disrespect unwed mothers? We shall see. We shall discuss that. She earned a little money sewing shirts. She had a needle and she made shirts. But it wasn't enough. From sewing, she earned money, which was so little, to take care of Cosette. She went to a wig maker and sold her hair for 10 francs. She cut off her hair, took it to a wig maker to get some money to look after Cosette. Then she got a letter from the Thénardiers saying that Cosette was very ill, very sick, and needed 40 francs for medicine. The Thénardiers asked for money every time. This made Fantine very desperate. Desperate means losing hope. Fantine lost hope. She had no job, but they were asking for a lot of money. Because she was desperate, she sold her 2 front teeth. In France, people buy teeth. She took her front tooth and sold it. After her hair and teeth were gone, first she sold her hair to a wig maker, Then she showed her 2 front teeth. Fantine had few ways of making money, but the Thénardiers kept demanding more money. So Fantine began to sell the only thing he had left, her body. She became a prostitute. She was selling her body because she was desperate. She had lost hope. She wanted Cosette to be happy. She did everything. This is the story of Fantine. It is really a sad story. That is the end of chapter 1. I hope you have enjoyed the story. See you next time.